Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Remove the bones from. Bone the turkey before roasting it. A shade of white, the color of bleached bones. Study intensively, as before an exam. I had to bone up on my Latin verbs before the final exam. Rigid connective tissue that makes up the skeleton of vertebrates. The porous calcified substance from which bones are made. Consisting of or made up of bone. Remove the bones from. A shade of white, the color of bleached bones. A hard, smooth ivory-colored dentine that makes up most of the tusks of elephants and walruses. A shade of white, the color of bleached bones. Of something having a color tending toward white. A shape that is spherical and small. A shade of white, the color of bleached bones. A smooth, lustrous round structure inside the shell of a clam or oyster, much valued as a jewel. Gather pearls from oysters in the ocean. Study intensively, as before an exam. I had to bone up on my Latin verbs before the final exam. Study intensively, as before an exam. Crowd or pack to capacity. Prepare, students, hastily for an impending exam. Put something somewhere so that the space is completely filled. Cram books into the suitcase. A bulging cylindrical shape, hollow with flat ends. A hollow cast iron cylinder attached to the wheel that forms part of the brakes. Make a rhythmic sound. Rain drummed against the windshield. Small to medium-sized bottom-dwelling food and game fishes of shallow coastal and fresh waters that make a drumming noise. Study intensively, as before an exam. A cylindrical metal container used for shipping or storage of liquids. A musical percussion instrument usually consists of a hollow cylinder with a membrane stretched across each end. Play a percussion instrument. The sound of a drum. He could hear the drums before he heard the fifes. Get up and out of bed. I get up at 7 a.m. every day. Raise from a lower to a higher position. Put on special clothes to appear particularly appealing and attractive. Study intensively, as before an exam. Develop. Rise to one's feet. Arrange by systematic planning and united effort. Cause to rise. Study intensively, as before an exam. Study intensively, as before an exam. Study intensively, as before an exam. An insignificant student who is ridiculed as being affected or boringly studious. Study intensively, as before an exam. The left eye. Computer science, software that controls the execution of computer programs and may provide various services. Rigid connective tissue that makes up the skeleton of vertebrates. A hard, brittle blue-gray or blue-black metallic element that is one of the platinum metals, the heaviest metal known. A mouth or mouth-like opening. The porous calcified substance from which bones are made. Having bones, especially many or prominent bones. A bony shad fillet. composed of or containing bone. Being very thin. Pale bony hands. Having bones, especially many or prominent bones. Being very thin. Break from a meeting or gathering. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. This machine withdraws heat from the environment. Cause to be returned. Lose interest. Retire gracefully. Pull back or move away or backward. Keep away from others. Take back what one has said. Make a retreat from an earlier commitment or activity. Withdraw from active participation. Release from something that holds fast, connects, or entangles. Remove a commodity from a supply source. The income or profit arising from such transactions as the sale of land or other property. Be capable of holding or containing. This box won't take all the items. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. Take the gun from your pocket. Serve oneself to, or consume regularly. I don't take sugar in my coffee. Make a film or photograph of something. Take a scene. Be designed to hold or take. This surface will not take the die. Require time or space. Take somebody somewhere. Can you take me to the main entrance? Have sex with. Archaic use. He had taken this woman when she was most vulnerable. Have with oneself. Have on one's person. She always takes an umbrella. Receive or obtain regularly. We take the Times every day. Admit into a group or community. Head into a specified direction. Pick out, select, or choose from a number of alternatives. Take into consideration for exemplifying purposes. Assume, as of positions or roles. Interpret something in a certain way. Convey a particular meaning or impression. How should I take this message? Lay claim to, as of an idea. Accept or undergo, often unwillingly. Make use of or accept for some purpose. Take a risk. Take something or somebody with oneself somewhere. Engage for service under a term of contract. Shall we take a guide in Rome? Be stricken by an illness, fall victim to an illness. Take on a certain form, attribute, or aspect. Take as an undesirable consequence of some event or state of affairs. Get into one's hands, take physically. Can you take this bag, please? Require as useful, just, or proper. It takes nerve to do what she did. Occupy or take on. Receive willingly something given or offered. Be a student of a certain subject. Proceed along in a vehicle. Point or cause to go, blows, weapons, or objects such as photographic equipment, towards. Ascertain or determine by measuring, computing or take a reading from a dial. Take a pulse. Be seized or affected in a specified way. Take sick. Buy, select. I'll take a pound of that sausage. Carry out. Take action. Experience or feel or submit to. Obtain by winning. Winner takes all. Take by force. Take into one's possession. I'll take 3 salmon steaks. The act of photographing a scene or part of a scene without interruption. Travel or go by means of a certain kind of transportation, or a certain route. He takes the bus to work. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. Buy and consume food from a restaurant or establishment that sells prepared food. Take out or remove. Take away apart from, diminish. Remove from a certain place, environment, or mental or emotional state. Transport into a new location or state. Get rid of something abstract. Take from a person or place. Remove something concrete, as by lifting, pushing, or taking off, or remove something abstract. Remove a threat. Kill intentionally and with premeditation. Go away or leave. Dispose of. Cause to leave. Get rid of something abstract. The death of her mother removed the last obstacle to their marriage. Shift the position or location of, as for business, legal, educational, or military purposes. He removed his children to the countryside. Degree of figurative distance or separation. Just one remove from madness. Remove from a position or an office. A Caucasian. United States writer noted for his humorous essays, 1899 to 1985. United States architect, 1853 to 1906. A tributary of the Mississippi River that flows southeastward through northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. Usually in the plural, trousers made of flannel or gabardine or tweed or white cloth. Anemic looking from illness or emotion. Lips white with terror. Restricted to whites only. Under segregation there were even white restrooms and white drinking fountains. Marked by the presence of snow. A white Christmas. The white part of an egg. The nutritive and protective gelatinous substance surrounding the yolk consisting mainly of albumin dissolved in water. She separated the whites from the yolks of several eggs. United States educator who in 1865, with Ezra Cornell, founded Cornell University and served as its first president, 1832 to 1918. Turn white. This detergent will whiten your laundry. Of a surface, not written or printed on. Wide white margins. Australian writer, 1912 to 1990. Glowing white with heat. White flames. The quality or state of the achromatic color of greatest lightness, bearing the least resemblance to black. United States jurist appointed Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court in 1910 by President Taft. Noted for his work on antitrust legislation, 1845 to 1921. United States political journalist, 1915 to 1986. Of hair, having lost its color. The white hairs of old age. Being of the achromatic color of maximum lightness, having little or no hue owing to reflection of almost all incident light. As white as fresh snow. Benevolent, without malicious intent. That's white of you. Board games, the lighter pieces. Free from moral blemish or impurity, unsullied. In shining white armor. Of coffee, having cream or milk added. Of or belonging to a racial group having light skin coloration. Voting patterns within the white population. Of summer nights in northern latitudes where the sun barely sets. White nights. The quality or state of the achromatic color of greatest lightness, bearing the least resemblance to black. The state of being unsullied by sin or moral wrong, lacking a knowledge of evil. Lightness or fairness of complexion. Only the whiteness of her cheeks gave any indication of the stress from which she was suffering. A branch of knowledge. Anthropology is the study of human beings. Give careful consideration to. Applying the mind to learning and understanding a subject, especially by reading. No schools offer graduate study in interior design. Attentive consideration and meditation. Preliminary drawing for later elaboration. Think intently and at length, as for spiritual purposes. He is meditating in his study. Learn by reading books. He is studying geology in his room. A detailed critical inspection. A written document describing the findings of some individual or group. This accords with the recent study by Hill and Dale. Be a student of a certain subject. Consider in detail and subject to an analysis in order to discover essential features or meaning. A composition intended to develop one aspect of the performer's technique. A study in spiccato bowing. A room used for reading and writing and studying. He knocked lightly on the closed door of the study. A state of deep mental absorption. She is in a deep study. Be a student. Follow a course of study. Be enrolled at an institute of learning. Someone who memorizes quickly and easily, as the lines for a part in a play. He is a quick study. Learn by reading books. I have an exam next week. I must hit the books now. Tissue of mesodermal origin consisting of e.g. collagen fibroblasts and fatty cells. Supports organs and fills spaces between them and forms tendons and ligaments. Material derived from animals. Any bone that develops within cartilage rather than a fibrous tissue. The main body of a vertebra. The arch of bone beneath the eye that forms the prominence of the cheek. Bone linking the scapula and sternum.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.